So yeah, I'm on camera for this one. It's not too long, it's the second Guardian video that I'm going to be doing. And this other one is yet again about race. And yet again, it's got a social justice warrior in it. So, without further ado, let's get to the intro and let's get through all this monkey business.
Hello everyone, this is Champion. Ugh! Damn it, I can't see a thing in this.
Black hair is finally fashionable, but on whose terms?
How is black hair finally fashionable? I'm sure that black hairstyles have always been fashionable. I'm not even sure all these hairstyles are even uniquely unique, because, you know, everything is unique to you lot. To black cultures, because there are loads of other races who have curly hair and can grow the same kind of hair that you can. So I don't think it's fashionable on anybody's terms. It's just whatever is in vogue in 2016, obviously.
Until recently, I was deeply ashamed of my hair. I always had it chemically straightened, often with added weave for full white girl hair effect.
And there are many white girls who would love to have curly hair, that lovely lushness of your clearly mixed race hair. The women want that, and men want it too, actually. There are some black women who don't give a crap about these things and just want their hair to be a certain style because they like the way it looks. In fact, I'm even going to use a man for this example, James Brown. Do you think he gave a shit what people thought about his hair, whether it was curly or straightened as it would be for the remainder of his life? Hell no, it's James fucking Brown. He does what he wants. The problem is you. You didn't like your hair. But of course, it's not your fault that you didn't like your hair. It's white people's fault.
That was the only way I felt I could look acceptable. And this is an experience many black women the world over can relate to.
Wait, so in cultures where they don't even receive that much racism, like in, I don't know, the vast majority of African countries, or in South America, where nobody really cares about their hair, nobody cares about this, they're too busy trying to survive the next day, like most of us should be doing. Black people the world over are somehow pressured into changing their hair. Even though some black people naturally have straight hair, like Nubians, some of them have straight hair. Somalians have curly hair that is closer to Arabs and white people than, say, West Africans. And you yourself, you're clearly mixed race. Most Africans don't have hair like that either. So, I don't get it. What's the fuss? Who's oppressing these people in Africa and South America and elsewhere into changing their hair? Maybe these people just want straight hair, or curly hair, or whatever. Why can't they make that decision? And if they're insecure about it, so what? It's not the culture's fault. Insecurity tends to come from within.
Growing up with afro hair can be traumatic.
Right, sure. Growing up with afro hair can be traumatic. Yeah, ask a Jewish person if his hair, if he has a Jewfro, if that's traumatic. Ask another person who's got curly hair who doesn't happen to be of African descent if their hair being curly is traumatic. I think you'll find even most people of African descent would disagree with you. How do you know it is traumatic for loads of different people? How do you know that these people who are black happen to go through the same experience as you because of your hair? That is just stupid. Look at my hair. My hair is not perfectly straight. It's wavy as fuck. It curls at the ends when it gets longer. It's a nightmare to keep in shape, but it's not traumatic. Nobody ever really cared about my hair. And nobody cared about other people's hairs either. What? Just because you've got your own insecurities doesn't mean there's some hidden cultural thing about it, okay?
When the norm, what your friends and favourite actresses have, is shiny, straight European hair. Because I'm worth it.
Yeah, newsflash for you, love. We live in Europe. That is the norm. By their very nature, they have evolved to have that hair to better cope with the lack of sunlight and the cold weather, comparatively speaking, of course. Not all of Europe is cold, but it is colder than Africa, okay? It's an evolutionary thing, which can also be artificially created nowadays. There is nothing unique about it. It is just the norm in that area of the world, and not even all Europeans have straight hair, and nor is it necessarily the norm in other European countries to have curly or straight hair. In some countries, there are more dark hair than light hair, and in some countries it's in the middle. There's nothing unique about it. There is nothing racist about it. And I fail to see how these people care about your hair. Racists are more interested in what you do than what your hair looks like, really. I don't think they really care about your hair.
Or at best, bouncing ringlets.
Oh, I see what you're doing here now. You're just using stereotypes of what European people look like in order to further your agenda. That is... racist. That is racist. I hate to say it, but that's racist. You are using these stereotypes to further your own agenda, to say that white people's hairs are more acceptable than black people's hairs, when really nobody gives a shit. Seriously? Really? You do realise that some white people actually have proper curly hair that frizzes? Like yours, right? You do know that, right? Look at my hair. I know I'm mixed race, but fucking hell. Some white people have this too. But hey, whatever. Your hair is obviously oppressed, and mine is not.
It's difficult not to internalise the message that your hair is unacceptable and ugly.
You are an absolute fool if you get that kind of message just because of the fact you live in a country where most people look like that. How can you get this subliminal message? This is like what Judas Priest had to go through when they had a court case. These two families and these two teenagers who killed themselves because they listened to Judas Priest. They tried to say that Judas Priest put a message in their albums telling young kids to kill themselves. Yes, Judas Priest were accused of wanting to kill their own audience. This is similar. You are basically telling me and others that fashion people and people on the TV are putting subliminal messages on TV and on the internet that straight hair and ringlets, which is just curly hair, is somehow the norm, and that your hair and my hair and anybody who isn't white's hair is unacceptable. That is crazy talk. That is Alex Jones style of tinfoil hattery, and you should be ashamed of yourself.
So you spend time and money battling it, disparage it in front of others, and secretly wish it away. But things seem to be changing.
Nothing has changed. One of the coolest people on the planet, although he is now sadly dead, but he's still cool, Jimi Hendrix, had an afro. Nobody gave a fuck about his hair. In fact, people probably thought he looked fucking amazing. Hell, even his bandmates had the same hair as him. Are they somehow oppressed too? Oh no, wait, they're white. They just got ringlets. Although, technically, Jimmy was mixed race too. So is he, see what I mean? Oh my god, nobody cares about your hair. And the only thing that's changed is that you've obviously accepted your hair. You no longer have this biting, horrible, destructive thing that makes you hate yourself because of your hair. Your low self-esteem is now slightly higher than it once was. Well done. I'll give you a cookie.
Hunger Games actress Amanda Stenberg was recently on the cover of Teen Vogue, talking about the politics of black hair.
There is no politics of black hair. You are the only people who are politicising this hair. Nobody else did it. Nobody else. Just you social justice warriors. And maybe your predecessors in the 60s and 70s, but apart from that, nobody else cares. It's just hair. It's nothing.
Increasingly, black women are ditching the chemicals and stopping trying to match up to standards designed to exclude us.
Bitch, you're a mulatto like me. Be honest about it. No true black person looks like you. And no true Asian person or white person looks like me. Okay? Look, cut the crap. Cut all this stupid bullshit. Stop overcompensating, okay? And just admit to me that you have no citation for this, because society is not trying to say that you are not included, that they are trying to oppress you because of your hair. I have not seen this. I've not seen this. You are just lying at this point, or you are just completely and utterly batshit crazy. I just don't know.
Many of us now proudly showcase our natural kinks, coils and curls in a world that tries its best to tell us how inferior our African features are.
Alexa Jones, I know that's not your name, but you're Alexa Jones to me. Listen here, take off your tinfoil afro for 1 second and just bear with me here. They are not trying to say your hair is unacceptable. Nobody is. Just because most people in the UK and Europe have straight hair doesn't mean that they're saying that you're not included in all of this. I've noticed actually that more black women have straight hair now than they used to. That's just probably where I live. That's anecdotal. As far as I'm aware, the whole au naturel thing left in the 70s and nobody's really gotten back to it. I think people just don't care about hair. Really. That's just the bottom line of it.
And even Queen of the Weave Beyoncé claimed in her new video. Such progress, right?
Newsflash for you, she did it for the money, alright? She's not interested in your politics of black hair. She straightens her hair all the bloody time, and I doubt her hair is truly afro anyway, because her mum is mixed race, I think, or Latino, and someone's going to have correct me on that. I heard Creole, but I've also heard Puerto Rican, so whatever. Doesn't matter. The point is, she's not the best example, mate.
I'm not too sure. This trendy celebration of black hair is still troublingly driven by white ideals of beauty.
And you have shown that you know exactly what white ideals of beauty are. You know, what if it's just British ideals of beauty, or American ideals of beauty, or Beyonce's ideal of beauty, or your ideal of beauty? I think it's your idea of what our idea of beauty is, when really beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And I, for one, love hair like what you've got. I fucking love it. But I also love straight hair, and I also love ringlets, and I like dreadlocks. I actually kind of, now that I think about it, I like all hair.
If you're a black woman with defined curls, you've probably lost count of how many times recently you've been told you're so lucky. This more loosely curled hair denotes a mixed ancestry down the line.
So like you then. And besides, if they're saying that you're so lucky, isn't that a good thing? They wish they had your hair because it looks good to them. God, you just cannot take a compliment. That is your issue. You cannot take a compliment. You have low self-esteem, even though now it's a bit higher. You are just projecting here. You're projecting your insecurities onto everybody else, and you're trying to say that we're oppressing you, when you know damn well it's bullshit. And it's just, I don't know, why is The Guardian even giving you time? You are just a bloody shame. You are an embarrassment to black women everywhere and to mixed race people everywhere.
That's right. That person has to have some Indian, Asian, Arab, or of course white blood.
That shows how little you know about Indians. Let me just tell you one thing. Either they have straight hair, curly hair, or everything in the middle. You will literally see a gang of Indian mates and not one of them will have the same type of hair. Look at me, I'm a prime example of this. I'm an Anglo-Indian with some Trinidadian in me. You can imagine what my hair will look like when it's long. Yeah, precisely how it looks. They're not saying that you have white in you. They're saying you're lucky to have hair so fucking nice. What is the fucking problem? They are not racist. They are not inherently racist. You are literally accusing them of thought crime here. Over hair. You are that pathetic.
Anything that dilutes that Africanness.
You've literally just accused the British public of being eugenicist racists. That's what you just accused them of being Nazis. Literally. Only a Nazi or someone who was into eugenics would believe that shit. Nobody who isn't a Nazi believes in that shit. Only Nazis believe in that shit. Everybody else who wasn't a Nazi is all dead. They're all dead. They don't believe in that bullshit. They like your hair because you have that hair. They like that hair. They have an aesthetic thing for it. There is nothing ulterior about this. You are insane. You are the racist.
The tightly coiled version that I have is still stigmatized.
Claims her hair is stigmatized, yet white people are saying she's lucky to have it. Yeah, your hair is not stigmatized. Your hair is very much wanted by white people. They want that hair. But that's cultural appropriation if they even attempt to make their hair like that. You just can't win with these people. You just can't fucking win. Just can't win.
This hair texture may still not be acceptable in the media, but that doesn't stop the occasional white person invading your personal space to cop a good old feel.
You've not even proven that it's not acceptable in the media. You've not even proven that it's not acceptable in culture. And the fact that people want to touch it, isn't that a good thing? And by the way, stop lying. Look, I have seen this so many times in real life. People ask first. They don't just go like that. They don't do that. That's a lie. You are lying. If people are doing that, you either live in an area where they have no self-control, or you're accusing people of having no self-control, that white people have no self-control around a black person's hair. No, they ask if they can touch it. Ask how you got it the way it is. They know how to respect personal space. You are lying for the sake of your agenda. I mean, we all know where lying for the sake of agenda got us to when it comes to race, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just having Vietnam War flashbacks.
The more African your afro, the more uninvited hands it will host. Seriously, can we stop doing that already?
But isn't that a good thing? The more African it is, the better. When you were just saying that these people want you to be more white, yet they are simultaneously attracted to the Africanness. What the flying fuck? What do you want from the rest of society? What do you want? You literally do not know what you want. You know what? You're a typical woman. We're just going to put it like that, shall we? Oh, sexist. You can't have it both ways, love. You cannot have it both ways. Either you want people to love your hair or not. What do you prefer, being imaginary abused and oppressed because of your hair, or loved by your hair but you hate the fact that people love your hair because they're white? even though I've seen Asian people do it, especially Japanese and Chinese people, and I've seen other black people do it too. But hey, whatever, it's a white person's problem, obviously.
We're a long way from the afro being any version of normal.
You live in Europe. Hardly anybody has afros in Europe. You're barely even 1% of the population in Europe. That isn't going to be normal, but it doesn't mean it's not accepted. It's quite obviously accepted, otherwise you would not be having one right now, and I wouldn't be allowed to grow my hair out in the way it does. Seriously, what is your problem?
So long as we allow industries run by white people to dictate whether we are beautiful, and we continue to measure our own beauty by the yardstick of whiteness, we have a long way to go.
So you want us to get rid of these industries that are run by white people, who are somehow against you because they're white, who are saying that you're not pretty, even though it's clear that you do not think you're pretty, and you're speaking on behalf of other black people, even though you yourself clearly are not very black. Just to ram it in a little bit, a little reality check for you, because I can spot a mixed race person from a mile away. Apparently, these people are white, therefore they're against you. This is actually quite an eye-opening thing that she says. If we stop using a yardstick and comparing ourselves to white beauty, which, by the way, is exactly what you do because you're a racist and because you're an SJW, when really, why don't you all just view yourselves as human beings who have different things that other people will like?
So long as we continue to fetishize black hair.
You know what? I give up. There is literally no pleasing you people. If we hate it, we're racist. If we like it, we're fetishizing you. Please, why don't you just do your own thing and stop annoying every normal person? I'm including all the black people who don't care about this shit. You leave us, all of us alone, and you lot just be racist to yourselves, and I think we'll get along just fine.
So long as we continue to touch it without asking, so long as its popularity is not on black people's terms, a celebration is premature.
It's clearly on your own terms. It's clearly on everybody else's terms. People love that hair, people don't like that hair. Even then, even if they don't like it, they're not racist. That's just an aesthetic thing. I'm sure there are people who don't like straight hair. You are projecting your own racism onto us. You are projecting your own insecurities onto us and blaming us for your insecurities when you have no one to blame but yourself. You may have been bullied, but that is now gone. Those days are gone. You are an adult. You should be over that. I'm over my bullying to an extent, but Jesus Christ, I do not blame the entire world for it. At least not anymore. Anyway, people, that's the end of the video. I am sick of these idiots politicising everything from hair to bloody, I don't know, headphones will be next. See you later.